Thank you for joining us. We're here in Skokie, Illinois for a special interview with Mr. Sam Harris, a Holocaust survivor who was liberated as a child and came to the United States in the year 1948. Upon sailing into New York, he saw the Statue of Liberty, and just recently he received the Ellis Island Medal of Honor. Among his many achievements was his founding the magnificent $45 million Illinois Holocaust Museum and Education Center right here in Skokie, Illinois. Mr. Sam Harris believes good will prevail in the long run, and he'll share his thoughts on Holocaust remembrance and education following these messages. We have the privilege of having with us Mr. Sam Harris. Sam, a real honor to have you with us today.
My honor, too.
You received a Medal of Honor, and I'm holding the book right here, Ellis Island Medal of Honor.
Yes.
And here's your picture as a little 12-year-old boy.
Yes.
Tell us about this.
Well, first of all, the Medal of Honor. The reason I'm so pleased with the Medal of Honor, it's given to Americans who have contributed much to this country, but they also have to contribute to their own ethnicity. I hope I got that word right. And I was extremely pleased to get this honor. But the real reason is this. In this picture, if you notice, there's a little boy here, 12-year-old boy, an orphan, coming on a ship known as the Ernie Pyle from Europe. Didn't know anybody here. An organization known as the United States Organization for Rehabilitation of European Children, partially organized by Eleanor Roosevelt. And that's the organization that brought me here. Eventually, I ended up in Chicago, where the JUF took over, Jewish United Fund. And I was adopted. They placed me with their Children's Bureau to be adopted in Northbrook, in Illinois. Now, the reason I was so happy is this group of people, 95 of us from all over the United States, got this award. And you have to see, we were all going out to Ellis Island together. The band is playing, a lot of generals were given this, and outstanding people. And we see the Statue of Liberty coming to us, and then we're honored. And then right afterwards, we go on a boat 50 yards from the Statue of Liberty. On top of the boat, now the firecrackers surrounding behind the Statue of Liberty. All of New York could see that, and here I am.
A firework display for the whole audience there.
Oh, the audience, but everybody in New York is this beautiful, magnificent, multi-million-dollar cost fireworks. All of New York is seeing it for half an hour. And I am on top of the boat with my wife and 2 grandchildren. Both of them are pre-med. Excuse me for bragging a little bit, and standing there, and my mind is going back to that little boy with thick glasses coming to see for the first time the Statue of Liberty. Now I'm here with my family, and it's starting to rain as though the sky is starting to cry. We got completely wet, and we didn't know it. It was such a big moment for me and my family. That's what it meant to me. That's what this country meant to me. And that's why I'm here today.
You lost your whole family in the Holocaust due to the crimes perpetrated by Nazi Germany. Why is it essential, in your opinion, for neither Jew nor Gentile to be permitted to forget that these atrocities did take place?
I would like to say that I'm the youngest of 7 children, and 2 sisters and I survived. I was the youngest of 7, and I survived. One of the sisters behind me in the picture came here. She was like 14, 13 and a half. And then another sister in Vienna, she was 14 years older. She's the one that saved us. Without her, I wouldn't have lasted 1 day, okay? She was brilliant, beautiful, dynamic, spoke many languages, took everything she had to save us. And that's why. Now, why do we have to make sure that this doesn't happen again? I think that was your question, right?
Yes, it was.
When I came over to this country, I think the population of the world, I do not know for sure, of the world was 3 billion, maybe 3 billion, 2 to 3 billion, to give or take a billion, you know. Now it's 7.5 billion. There are wars going on, 40 wars going on right now all over the world, from Rwanda, you name it. People killing each other. People killing each other. And we have to do something about it. We have to do something about it. I came to a conclusion that the only solution that I know of is through education. So I volunteered to get involved and build the museum across the street from here, the Illinois Holocaust Museum and Education Center, where we teach children. Every day you go by there, you'll see 700, 800 kids looking at the museum, learning not only the Holocaust, but other genocides. See, we passed a law that in Illinois, the first of its kind in the United States, that teaches to teach the Holocaust in public schools. Then a group of us went back to Springfield, we added a codicil, and we said not only to teach the Holocaust, but other genocides. And that's what we do.
You never spoke about the Holocaust until you were in your 50s.
Yes, right. It's good that I didn't, because if I had, then I couldn't have moved on with my life as I did. So I told my adoptive parents, here's the suitcases, I never want to talk about it, throw them away, that's it. And I was able to do that. In my reunion, 50th reunion of my high school, my friends didn't know about it. I had to tell them there was something in the Tribune, and they saw that we were building a museum and my name was brought up, and they was, what's this? And I had to tell them. I didn't want to talk about it because there's so many other things to talk about, but then I had a rabbi here. We were very good friends, Rabbi Willie Frankel, a brilliant guy. We used to get together, speak Yiddish and German. He was from Vienna. I lived in Vienna. And he knew I couldn't speak about the Holocaust, and he said, Sam, now is the time to start speaking. I said, why? Right here at Northwestern. We're not too far from here, you know, it's a few minutes away. There's a guy who wrote a book, The Hoax of the 20th Century. The Holocaust never happened. Sam, it's time to talk. You know what I did? I said, okay. I really didn't want to speak. It brought back terrible memories. I told my wife, I'm sick to the stomach. I'll never speak again. She said, good. But then I started to see that we needed to do it. Somebody had to. I was 9.5 years old when I was liberated. How many Jewish kids were liberated? Not too many, who were in concentration camps. 1.5 million of Jewish children were killed. I was saved. I owed it to them to do something. So I got involved in a big way.
You say you owed it to them.
Absolutely.
So you founded the Holocaust Memorial and Education Center here in Skokie, Illinois.
We had a small museum that was organized by survivors right after the march on Skokie, which you know about. Eventually, I joined that group, survivors. I had not hung around with survivors before until the rabbi persuaded me to speak. I became a member there, got very active, and one day I said, we need a bigger one, bigger museum.
What are your thoughts with regard to those who have the ultimate insolence, those revisionists who claim the Holocaust never happened? How dare they? What are your thoughts with regard to that?
It is such stupidity. The best way I answer it to a high school group of kids when the question comes up is I say, what do you say to somebody that comes to you and says, the world is flat? There's nothing to say. They're stupid. It's a free country. Anybody can say what they want to, and it's stupid, and we just have to get around it and get people to believe that it happened. I mean, right now they have Mein Kampf, the bestseller in the Arabian countries, and the book, the Elders of the Zion, which knocks down the Jewish people and talks about terrible things. And it was a fictitious book, but that's being sold and videos are being shown in the Arabian countries. What do? You just have to fight back, which is what you're doing. It's the only thing we can do. It's an endless fight.
Such criminally irresponsible hatred being disseminated, criminally irresponsible. Let me ask you, in your view, as a Holocaust survivor, why is it essential that neither Jew nor Gentile be permitted to ever forget that those atrocities were perpetrated, did occur, perpetrated by Nazi Germany?
I think there was a man called Sion Tanner, something like that, who said, he who forgets the past is condemned to repeat it in the future. Now, we must remember that World War II, we killed about 100 million people. Not all the Jews. There were other people that were killed in the crematoria. We must remember. So if it affects the Jews, it affects others. And we have to teach it to everybody if we want to live in a peaceful world.
You built the Illinois Holocaust Remembrance and Education Center, a phenomenal building, a phenomenal monument. Tell us about it.
Well, I came to realize we had a museum there built by survivors right after the March on Skokie, which is another story. I'm sure you know about it. And we came to realize that it was too small for the big story that had to be told. So I volunteered to become chairman to build this new museum. The good news is that the timing was right, and almost everybody that I asked fell in line and wanted to be part of it. And it's just been a tremendous achievement for all the people in the Chicagoland area.
And thousands of people visit, not necessarily Jewish, school
Mostly
children.
not Jewish. We have passed a law in Illinois stating that the Holocaust must be taught. First state to do that. I think there's about 18 states doing it now. Then we went to Springfield, and we added a codicil saying not only should the Holocaust be studied, but also other genocides. And that's what kids learn.
Absolutely essential.
I'm proud of that.
Today we have the rebirth of the State of Israel more than 6 decades ago, regarded as an answer to the Holocaust, in a way.
As an answer to the Holocaust. Well, the Jews had to have a place to go. When I was a child, nobody wanted me. I was told by my sister I was supposed to go to Israel, but the Mister ship ended up in the United States. But the Jews had no place to go. They had to go to Israel. And then the war started immediately, practically. The minute the Jews got off the boat, they handed them a gun and started to fight. So they had to have a place to go. And what a better place than their own home, biblical home, from so many years ago. I just came back from Italy. And I told our guide, I looked at the Colosseum. I said, that was built by Jews. He said, yes. I said, oh, shouldn't have said that, but I did anyway. I said, I want to thank you. He said, for what? He said, you Romans kicked the Jews out. We had one temple, now we have thousands of them. Maybe if we hadn't, we would have been destroyed. I have never read this anywhere. It's not a nice thing to say or do, but that's what came to me. We have thousands of temples. So I think the Jews are here to stay.
On that happy thought, let me shake your hand and thank you. And let me tell you, it's a real privilege and honor to have you on the Shalom Show. Thank you so very much, Sam.
It is my honor. Thanks for inviting me.
Thank you, Sam.
Has the world learned the lesson? Sadly, I must confess, the answer is no. Had the world learned the lesson, there would have been no Cambodia, and no Rwanda, and no Darfur, and no Bosnia, and no racism, and no anti-Semitism. But we must learn now certain very simple lessons, that whatever happens to one community affects all communities.
These words, so eloquently spoken by Nobel laureate and Holocaust survivor Elie Wiesel at the opening of the Illinois Holocaust Museum and Education Center, are a mandate for the work that occurs inside these walls every day.
One of my students actually today said that every single CPS student should come to the museum every year and be reminded of what happened and what they can do to prevent this from ever happening again. I think it's extremely important that students understand that as an individual, they have the power to change the environment that they live in their communities.
Younger children begin their journey with a visit to the newly enhanced Make a Difference Miller Family Youth Exhibition. Through new interactive scenarios, students learn how to become upstanders, not bystanders, by choosing to speak up and take action. Each visitor has the chance to take an upstander oath, a pledge to take the lessons of respect learned at the museum and apply them to their own lives.
I've had a lifelong feeling that children are not born with hate, they learn it. And the object of this and many other things that are going on are to try and teach the kids that they don't have to hate differences in other kids. Tall, short, thin, fat, white, black. These are differences we should build on and not differences we should fear. Talking to kids and understanding that they understand what bullying is and what upstanders are. That's where I really get the pride, knowing that the message is getting through.
And this message is being heard loud and clear. The Exelon Anti-Bullying Forum, held here at the museum, brought together over 100 school administrators from throughout the Midwest and featured Chicago Public Schools CEO Jean-Claude Broussard as its keynote speaker.
According to U.S. government statistics, 56% of all students claim to have personally witnessed an act of bullying. Students have to really understand who they are and where they come from and what's happened in history. So one, we don't repeat it. Two, we have the kinds of empathy we need for all people. And last but not least, the acceptance of all kinds of people from around the world. So not just, white, black, or Asian, but even differences amongst ourselves.
This is the Illinois Holocaust Museum and Education Center. And through the universal lessons taught here, we all have the potential to discover the power of our own voice. And by doing so, each and every one of us can change the world.